Hey guys, it's Mike1013 for FlopTurnRiver. In my last few videos I've been talking about 3-betting for value, 3-betting for a bluff, what hands you should use, what hands you shouldn't use. So today I'd like to go over some example hands illustrating these concepts. Before I get started, let me explain the stats that I have up in my HUD here. First number VPID, second number is PFR. Then we have 3-bet percent and steal percent. On the next line, C-bet and fold to C-bet. And if I need any other stats from the pop-ups, I'll explain them as I go along. Okay, so let's take a look at this first hand here. It happens at a 100 NL full ring cash game. And we have ace-6 suited in the small blind. It folds around to the button, and it's on us, and we have to decide what we want to do. Well, looking at his opening range here, which it looks like it's 28% on the button, I don't think we have a profitable cold call, especially given that the big blind behind us might decide to 3-bet himself. So let's see if we can possibly 3-bet this hand. Let's look at his fold to 3-bet stat. It's 53%, which doesn't look too great at first. We don't make an outright profit by 3-betting him here. But let's look at his fold to C-bet. It's rather high, and let's see if we have any good numbers specifically in 3-bet pots. It looks like he's folding to C-bet. It's only 6 times. He folded 4 out of 6 times. But that tends to give the impression that he's playing pretty fit or fold in 3-bet pots. So when you combine that post-flop fold equity with the chance that, about half the time he's going to fold immediately to our 3-bet, I think this is the kind of hand that can sometimes flop pretty well, that we should use to 3-bet him here. So I would go ahead and 3-bet this one. Okay, let's move on to the second hand here. In this hand we have ace-jack off in the button, and the cutoff opens. Let's take a look and see what kind of range he's opening from the cutoff. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it's 23% in the cutoff. And let's look at his fold to 3-bet stat. It's only 46%. So we can't really bluff here to make an outright profit. We can't 3-bet for value because if he's continuing with half of his 23% range, that's only about a 12% range, and we're behind a 12% range. But we are doing decently well against a 23% range, so I think this is a pretty good spot actually just to cold call, and especially because the blinds don't look really too active, they're probably not going to 3-bet us very much. So we'll get to play in position and be ahead of his range, which I think we should do. Now you might say, but ace-jack is frequently dominated, so we're going to get into, a lot of problems post-flop. Well, against tighter ranges, yes, ace-jack is dominated. But against a range that probably includes ace-10 and a whole bunch of suited aces, I think ace-jack dominates just as often as it's dominated. Plus, we'll have position. So I think this is a good spot for a cold call, and we shouldn't try to get fancy or do anything strange with the 3-bet here. Now let's look at another ace-jack hand, this time at a 2 NL table. We're in the button again. This time the cutoff opens, it's a min open, and if we look at his stats here, he looks really like a bad player. He doesn't look very good at all. We have a very small sample, but nobody runs that hot, even over a small sample. So I think he's a very bad player. He's probably opening 50% or more in this spot. Let's look at his fold to 3-bet stat. He's folded to 0 3-bets out of 3 opportunities. So I think, he has like 50% here. And he might be calling with almost all of it, which ace-jack definitely is ahead of that range. There's no need to overthink this spot. I think this is a very clear 3-bet for value, and it's not even close. Okay, our next hand happens at a 50 NL table. There's a limp in early position, and the button raises, and it's on us in the small blind with queen 10 off. Well, I think it's pretty clear we can't cold call here. Queen 10 is just not very good, especially given that there's another player who might cold call behind as well. And the big blind might decide to 3-bet himself. He looks decently active. Let's take a look at this guy's stats and see what we can determine. What range is the opening here? 30%, so he's not super wide on the button, really. How often does he fold to 3-bets? Wow, 68% of the time. Okay, so that's a lot. And actually, if we look at that positionally, it looks like he's folding especially a lot in the cutoff or button. So, since we can't cold call with a hand like this, but it does have very good blockers, we block queens, we block tens, we block ace queen, king queen, a bunch of hands that he might have in his range to call a 3-bet, and combined with the fact that his fold to 3-bet number is so high, I think we make a very good profit here by 3-betting him. So I'd go ahead and 3-bet here. Okay, so this next hand actually happens at the same table and against the same opponent. He's in the hijack and opens, and we're in the cutoff with 7-5 off. Clearly this would not be a good hand for a cold call, and we can't 3-bet it for value, but can we 3-bet it as a bluff? Remember, this guy's folding to a huge amount of 3-bets. Even still, I think this hand is especially bad. It doesn't have blockers, it's very low, it's not going to play terribly well post-flop. I think we should just let this one go and wait for better opportunities for 3-bet bluffing. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been informative.